All right. All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Effortless Marketing. I'm here with Miss TC Okor. I love saying her last name like that. And just really excited about bringing this to y'all today because we were having a discussion about digital versus physical marketing. We do Q&As every Wednesday to hear your thoughts and your questions around what things you're doing in your business when it comes to marketing, lead generation, lead magnets, right? We've talked about these things in the past. So if you missed it, catch the replay so you can catch up. Now we also have, some conversation today that I want to bring is going to emphasize a little bit of why I combine both, why I use digital and physical marketing. I was telling TC because TC specializes in the digital space. And she's going to support you when you have things like, okay, I need to get more exposure on social media. I need to get more exposure to my audience through emails. Even setting up things on your blogs. Really looking at how do I create content. I never even asked you that, TC. Do you help people with blogs too?
Yes, we do.
Yep. So these are some of the things that I think are so important to realize that there are so many avenues of marketing, right? Because I think Holly said that on our live on Wednesday. She said, "Oh my God, there's so many things," and I had a situation happen, TC, that I want to kind of address today. That I had in person, physical marketing wise, that I thought, wow, like that was really easy. And one of the things that I think about is when I approach some of the potential clients, prospects, some of the biggest questions that they always tell me, or some of the things that they always come up with, is, well, there's so much that I can do. Where do I start? And I was really like humbled by that with the gentleman that I was speaking with this past week. And I'll kind of break that down for y'all because as I was having, and I do a lot of roundabouts, and I'll tell you guys how I do that. I won't break it down because that's something that I specifically add to my clients' programs, but I do want to make sure that I give you a hint as to where you need to focus when you're in certain areas of marketing, because it's not that you have to do everything at once. It's just that, like the gentleman said, you don't know where to start. So I'm Allegra, the marketing Nabula. I'm a business coach. I'm a marketing strategist and business analyst. I also am the founder of the W.I.N community. I support women all over the world. I make sure that you have a thriving lifestyle, make sure that you can secure yourself, whether it's securing generational wealth, whether it's making sure that your family is set up for success, or for you to have the ultimate freedom and the best life that you can possibly have. In order to do this, what I do is I help you create sustainable measures in your business, right? There's a lot of business owners that have businesses in their minds, right? It's in their heads, but it's not actually on paper. So I help you get it out of your head and write it on paper. So if you're like, hey, I don't even know what a business plan looks like, well, that's just you writing down your ideas, putting it on paper, and organizing it so other people can read it and run with it. Now, I also want to kind of top it off with the marketing aspect because there's a lot of people that are asking for money, but you don't know how to financially get it, right? Like if you don't have your finances in order in your personal life, how dare you ask for someone in your business for money? So we support you in making sure you set yourself up for success there. So when you go walk into the bank and when you go to, the grant companies and when you go look at funding, wherever it is, whether it's crowdfunding or anyone, that they know that they can trust you with giving them your money. So these are some of the things that I work with, and I just want to hone in some of the marketing aspects because I've been doing marketing for over, I want to say 20 years now. Jesus. And I've been doing it physically in the market. I've also done it digitally, like TC teaches you to do. And I also went to school for it. And I think that when we talk about marketing, it's the basic psychology behind what you do. So if you think that you can go out and just market and just talk about what you do and people are just going to come running to you, that's why a lot of your sales are low. So I just want to kind of start with that and get you tuned in. Share this live to people who need to hear it. Let's talk about where you are in your marketing strategy, and let's build from there. Cece, go ahead and introduce yourself. I want you to go ahead and lighten the load for them because you are the one that works directly with them in the business, and you're going to really help them get all that confusion unraveled. So the mic is yours.
I love that. Okay, so hey everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Like Allegra said, I get you all figured out. Okay, I help you work smart, empower you to get the work done. The actionable steps that you need to work smart, make more money in your business. I help you figure that out. The confusion, the headaches, all of that is streamlined and effortlessly made seamless for you, just so that you're able to um, make the money that you desire. You're able to live that life of purpose. You're able to build the legacy, okay, that you've always envisioned. And like I always say, I do this using simple automated systems, help you set up those working sales funnels, unravel your lead generation process just so it's effortless. Also ensure that you are leveraging strategic, right, strategic marketing tactics, just so that you're able to attract the clients that you desire, nurture them, convert them into repeat paying customers. You see, the end goal is that you are living your dream. The end goal is that you are building this legacy that you desire without affecting your mental health. We all want that amazing life. We all want to live, a seamless life. But how do you do this when you are stuck up in a chaotic process? Your process is chaotic, your mind is chaotic, you're not able to achieve anything. Now I come in and I make it seamless, I make it effortless, okay? Today, I always like conversations, these particular conversations, the one we have every Thursday. Because on Wednesday, we just talk general, okay, and then we get you to ask questions. Now on Thursday, we deep dive into those questions you've asked on Wednesday. Talk about your lead generation, talk about your sales conversion, your sales conversation as well. The both of us, we both know that we need sales, okay, in our business. Now, so many of us do not like to talk about it. So many of us shy away from it. And Allegra was saying something before we jumped off live. I think she said, Allegra was saying, tell me what you have if you're not going to talk about sales, if you're not going to talk about your offer, if you're not going to tell anyone that you have the solution that they want. Okay, you don't have a business, you just have a hobby. Okay, and at the end of the day, I think I buy it. Like I know I buy it because if you're not having those conversations, if you're not leveraging those lead generation steps, if you're not taking those strategic steps physically, digitally for your business, okay, not the one where we say post 1 billion times without a strategy. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying stay strategic in your actions, leverage those high impact lead generation activities. Allegra was sharing something before we jumped on. Like we literally used to have serious conversation before we finally jump into the lives. And sometimes we'll be like, we can actually just say this here, but those conversations are always very interesting. You just lose track of time. But speaking back to what we were talking behind the live, is the fact that she made like so much progress with her business the past week. And it was simply because of certain effortless strategies, which she's going to be sharing with us today. And I'm eager to hear, and I'm sure you are also eager to hear. I always have my notepad and my pen, so I hope that you do the same because we all love to learn every single step, right? And if you have any questions, drop your questions in the comments. We'll definitely pick it up, okay? Yeah, Allegra, share that thing. I really want to hear it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, thank you, TC, for that because what we're talking about, especially behind the scenes before we came here on the live, was really important. I could be hashtag petty sometimes. Y'all know me enough by now. So, when I was telling TC, I said, it really confuses me that people don't like money. And she was just like, right? Because when we're doing marketing, right, the whole point of marketing yourself, whether it's digitally, physically, right? So I put an ad out on social media, or I go live, or I go out and start passing out flyers and business cards and putting out poster boards, right? Like all these things are marketing efforts, and you're creating content in that marketing that speaks to your audience, right? Because if I create an ad for sneakers, but I'm selling coffee, they're not going to buy, they're not going to want it, they're not going to care, right? Because I'm speaking to the wrong audience. So you always have to make sure your message is actually correct when you're marketing yourself. But what I also really want to identify is after the marketing is the sales. Like it goes hand in hand. Like, what's the point of marketing and spending all that time and all that money on something if you're not going to make the sale? So when I said to TC, I said, I feel like people are showing up because they just really like it, right? You just really like to talk. We just really like to just be seen, right? Some people just like attention. So they're like, okay, if I have a business, I can show up, I'll get attention, right? So this is what we're dealing with, because I separate my business so that qualified candidates can really get to their next level of success, because there's a lot of people that want help, but they don't really want to receive the support. So it's just very interesting, because someone said it very clearly. They said, there's difference between wanting to be supported and wanting to be saved. There's two different things there. And so we have to identify when we're saying, okay, well, I just need a little support because this is the direction I want to go into. This is what I want to do, opposed to I need to be saved because I really don't know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and I'm really confused about my life. Okay, because that will trickle into your process. So if you're in that place where you're just like, I just need a little support, like, I got it, Allegra, I got it, TC, I know this is what I want to do. Okay. And that doesn't come from a place of desperation. I told TC, I said, I have denied clients from my program because I knew that the business wasn't theirs, it was their families. Or the business wasn't theirs, it was somebody else's idea. My best friend told me to do it. Those type of businesses a lot of times can become a burden for people, because now you're kind of stuck in kind of a people pleasing mode, right? Like, I constantly have to do this because this is going to make these people happy. And sometimes it can be subjective, like it could be very subconscious as well, right? These are things that are happening in the back of your mind that you're not aware of, and you're just naturally acting out in this way in every situation of your life. And that's why it's easy for a lot of women to like throw away a compliment or to compliment back immediately, because our natural reaction to things that's embedded in us subconsciously is that we're nurturers, so everything that we do we give away, right? I nurture you, I nurture you, I nurture you, but for us, we have not been nurtured. So it is natural for us to not take a compliment. It's natural for us to deny somebody giving us money. I talked about it in the Q&A with Emma. I have so many blocks, and I still do sometimes, because if you're not fortunate enough to have someone teach you about money, to have someone give you the tools and resources to know how to make money, then you have a block, right? In some way, some shape, somehow, you have to have that block removed. So if you haven't had that block removed at any point in time in your life, then yeah, you're showing up in your business and you're working it as a hobby. And I'll kind of stop there. Go ahead, TC.
And like I hold that thought, right? While you were speaking, I wanted to share something that happened to me. I think that was yesterday. So somebody sent me a message on WhatsApp, and she said, TC, you know you're amazing. You know, you do so much and all of that. It was like almost like two paragraphs of, you're amazing, you're this, you're that. I was on my way to typing, oh, you are absolute yourself, you're beautiful yourself, you're this yourself. And then I remembered something you said the other day about blogs. And it dawned on me that I should have just simply said, thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate the compliment. And I was almost clicking send, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna like this. No. And then I deleted all the oh yeah, you as well, you're beautiful as well. Thank you for doing what you do, and thank you for and then I deleted it, and I'm like, thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. And that was the end of the conversation. And you know what happened afterwards? After I was done, I felt cool. You know when you have like this whole chill. I had the chill, and I wanted to just stop that. You can go on. I'm so sorry.
Well, okay. So good job. Okay, so this is a great example, and I'm glad you shared that, TC, because this is why, and this is for everyone. It doesn't have anything to do. Some people think, oh, well, because I'm a certain age, I'm supposed to be this way or know this way. This is all of us as women. I've worked with women that are young and older that are set in their ways, not set in their ways. This works for all of us. If we take that moment, like TC said, to take a compliment and not have to return anything, because what happens is we start to divert the compliment. We really we're saying we don't want it subconsciously, because for you not to receive someone that's giving you a compliment but to divert it by building them up, you know what I'm saying? That it's like, you don't, it's the lack of receiving. And that's what we talked about yesterday, the joy of receiving. And so, TC, the more you do that, right? like that feeling, that tenderness, that trickle down your back of like, ooh, right? That thing will grow your confidence. It's going to make you feel so good, right? And honestly, a lot of times when you do the diversion and when you say, no, I'm not going to take that compliment, I'm going to give you the compliment, right? That's people pleasing. That's us really wanting to be validated. Like, oh no, I'm going to give you the compliment because I just really want you to know that I'm a people pleaser. I just want to please you. And a lot of us are like that, y'all. A lot of us are like that. But we have the power to change it. And I know it's an uncomfortable situation. It's uncomfortable to talk about. I'm sure TCTU, right? There have been some things that you probably heard. You're like, I don't like the way that sounds. But trying it out and saying, well, let me just see. Okay, let me see what this does for me. Because even as a mom, and I want you to explain this, TC, because do you feel like sometimes as a mom, because you have nurtured so much in your life that it takes you out of doing things for yourself?
Several times. Several times. I think it was like this weekend. Okay, this weekend I was actually, so I went to get the boys a couple of things because for some reason my second swing is growing every second. Like he's growing every second, and so he's expanding, and it feels like we keep buying, buying, and I don't know what's happening. And his brother is, on the other side of the end. And, so I just wanted to go replace some certain things. And I went to, the kids section. And just while I was going past, I saw like this very nice little store. Like it had like different set of perfumes and all of that. And, I looked at it. I looked at it for a brief second. And something said to me, focus, this is not why you're here. And I went away. I literally went past the perfume store and I just focused on getting the boys their things. And while I was, making payments for their items, I thought about it again and said, every time I go to the store, it's always the kids. Like I love them, right? But I make the money. Like, even if it's just one bottle, it's like crying. And I kept going back and forth with my thoughts, kept going back and forth with my thoughts. You know what I just did? After a while, I just dropped everything, went back to the bottle store or the perfume store, took the bottle. Allegra, that was the beginning of the spending for me. As I left, as I left the store, I literally went to the salon. Okay, I went to the salon. I'm like, and they're like, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I don't know." And they're like, okay, you don't know. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? I'm just going to change my hair. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I started doing everything. Now, I was supposed to be back to the house in an hour. And I literally got back home around 8:30 p.m. And my husband is like, what happened to you? And he's like, somebody else left the house. Somebody else is coming to the house. And I'm like, I don't know. I just did it. And I walked into the room and I started laughing. And that was it. And that was it.
TC, you're I mean, and that's growth, right? And I don't want to get too far off, y'all, because I know we're talking about digital and physical marketing, but this is part of it, right? TC, when you feel good about yourself, when you made the decision, right? Those things free your brain of chaos and confusion and stress. Because a lot of times we're holding ourselves back from wanting to do things for us because we feel like we always got to give it away. Like my kids, my husband, my family, right? But the one time that you actually think about it and you say, no, 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 I come first. Because if I can't take care of me, I can't take care of nobody. Like if I can't take care of me, I can't pour it out for you. And a lot of us are really pouring out of dry cups, like we're deserts, y'all. Like we deserts, and people over here trying to find our oasis, and we still dry. And I think that sometimes we have to realize that in order for us to be, in order for our families to be okay, we got to be okay. So that's number one. Okay. And so I just want to kind of lean into that because I do work with a lot of mompreneurs. TC, you're a mom. I get it. I'm not a mom. So, I mean, don't try to ask me those questions about how you manage that. I'm just going to
Your
say
your role
the
your
simple.
role is deeper, Allegra. You know,
Uh,
it's not easy to be a rich auntie. It's
well,
deeper.
yeah,
It's
being a
way.
ranch auntie is kind of like second, second to that. And I'm supposed to be. Listen, I'm late for my meeting. Sarah's over here messaging me, so we do have to get off. I literally am late for a meeting, so I thought I was going to be able to make it TC. But what I want to do though is I do. Yeah, we are meeting today. I'm going to let her know. But I do want to just talk about the experience that I was having, right? And I want you to kind of comment on that. Hold on. So when I went out this week, last week, and one thing that I do, y'all, is y'all know I go live a lot. Okay, like I'm like TC's live more than I am, but I do go live a lot, right, for my schedule because I run two entire businesses. So and I also have a marketing presence in my local market. So it's not just in the digital market, is also in the local physical market. Okay. So I'm not just like, okay, I'm on social media all day. Like you'll see me on social media, but you'll also see me at your local stores. You'll see me walk into your establishments. You'll see flyers in the local Panera Breads and coffee shops. You'll see a lot of people that will spread word of mouth advertisements about not just my business, but the WIN community here. So there's a lot that happens in person when it comes to physical marketing. So one thing that I do a lot, y'all, and this makes it really effortless, is that when I ever have to take like a car, because I love being a passenger princess. So if I can have someone drive me around, I do it any and every day. Okay. And when I get into some of these cars, like if I'm going a long distance and I'm just like having time to chat, what happens is that there is something that goes along with you operating your business the way that you need to every single day. I'm always on Clubhouse, I'm on the phone, I'm making sales calls, right? I'm talking to people. And because of that engagement and activity in my business, when I'm in these cars and in these environments, people are listening. Just remember this, people are always listening to you. And this is something that I've done even when it came down to the actual, what was it? I lost my train of thought. It, oh God, I had a really, really good example. Oh, so I was at a bar one time. Okay, it almost lost me. And I was sitting there working on my laptop like I usually do. I love to work on my laptop while I'm at establishments, that are really like really good ambiance. And I get out of the house because sometimes when you're in the house working, it's really stuffy. Your office becomes very mundane, right? Because you're like, I see the same things every day. So I am that person where I get out and I make another place my second office. So it'd be a restaurant, it could be a bar, it could be a lounge, it could be whatever. But as long as they have Wi-Fi and the music is not too loud. So when I used to do that in a lot of establishments, what I found was that sitting at the bar with my laptop was a lead generation tool. Because what people would do is they would be very curious about, why is this one single girl sitting here at the bar with her laptop? That's weird, right? Because who comes to a bar with a laptop? And I would, every single bar that I would go to, and this is why I want to emphasize this, because I don't think about it as much as I should to really relay this to y'all. But the reason why I always tell people, and especially my clients, that what you're thinking is really hard is really simple, you're just making it hard, is because when I used to sit at those bars, I never had to say, "Hey guys, come over here. I'm a business coach," or "Hey, I have a bartending company." I never had to do that. People would naturally come. They would come sit next to me. They would look at the laptop. They would be like, okay, especially if someone's already in the mindset, right? Because for some reason, when you're actively involved in what you're doing energetically, you know how we like to talk about the universe, who God made, right? He will just put things in place. And I noticed that, and this is why I tell people, just take the action. Because when we're contemplating and thinking and all these things, and people don't ever see your action. And so what I would end up doing is almost every single time, and not every single time exactly, but almost every single time, I would leave a bar, I would leave with a lead or a booked call. And it wasn't because I was great at what I did. They didn't even know what I did. They didn't know who I was. They met me for 15 minutes, had a drink, and left. Okay. And when you have and there are things that came along with that, right? I knew what my business was, I knew who my audience was. So if this person wanted to hire me and they weren't my audience, I pretty much wasn't giving them any more details, right? And a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you're a business coach." Oh, well, how do you help businesses? Tell them how I help. Oh, I need that. "Oh, okay. Well, have you worked with a coach before?" "Yeah, I work with a lot of coaches, and I just can't. They not helping me. Red flag. Not working with you." Okay. So there's things that I know about my clients, and that's what we encourage you to do, right? Know enough about your clients, know enough about your prospects, know enough about your customers that you can say whether you're going to work with them or not from the beginning. You don't not want to waste time trying to figure out or guess if they're really serious. When you see the red flag, you call it out. But I would literally leave most of the time with information from someone, a booked call, and they were always a sell. Anytime that they were in there, they were a sell. Whether they bought that day or whether they bought 3 months down the line, they were a sell. So it's not as necessarily a thing where there's not money available, there's not people ready to buy. There are always people ready to buy. But if I spent all my time on social media, if I spent all my time sending emails, if I spent all my time behind a phone and a camera, I probably would have never gotten those sales, right? And the same example that I had when I met the owner of an establishment of 7 restaurants this last week. Didn't even know. Sitting there with my laptop, wanted to go out and do some work, Nana sitting. So I went out and I went to go put my laptop out and started working, working on some websites. Of course, the gentleman is sitting next to me. It's very, very low key vibe. Not a lot of people in here, so I like it. But of course, people are watching. They're looking, they're hearing conversations, right? My server is amazing. And what ended up happening, y'all, is that the gentleman, at the end of the day, one question I always ask, because you do have to kind of insert yourself somewhere, right? So one question I always ask is, who owns this place? And another question I sometimes ask is, what is the mission of this place? And sometimes the questions I ask are, well, what's the theme? Like, what's the point of the moose and the hat? And a lot of times, if the servers know the mission, if they know the theme, and if they know the owner, I'm probably going to want to work with that establishment because they have at least foundationally set themselves up so that they can duplicate that process. So I'm talking to the server, asking them questions. Of course, the guy next to me, he hears it, right? Now, by the time I get to see who the owner is, the server points over to the guy next to me and says, he's the owner. Wow. So this whole time I've been working on websites. This whole time I've been talking about business. This whole time I've been on calls. This whole time, right? He's been listening. So as soon as I turn around and I say, hey, nice to meet you, he goes, what do you do? And as soon as he says that, what do I say? I'm a business coach. Why do I stop there? Because a lot of times when you're marketing, people really want to have air for curiosity. And a lot of times what we do is we go, oh, I'm a business coach, I'm an analyst, I'm a this and that, and I help women, da, 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 da. And by the time you get to the I help statement, they've tuned out. So when I say I'm a business coach and I stop, they go, oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? What do you do? So the curiosity factor is higher, right? It gives me more opening and more openness for the conversation. Now, here's where we say networking is really important for you, because when you practice being in spaces and places where you have open dialogue, because sales is just a conversation, when you get into these places like how I was in that restaurant, and mind you, found out he had 7 restaurants and he booked me, hired me as his coach. 7 restaurants. Why would he need a coach? Why? Because his sales and marketing was all in disarray. He's a passionate entrepreneur. He doesn't want to be the one figuring all that stuff out, but he does need a team. So when you are in the market and you're lacking advertisement and marketing efforts, like I want to show up on social media, and even when we're struggling there, right? Go find other avenues where you are stronger, right? Go to your local chamber of commerce, go to your local SBA, start connecting with businesses in your local area, start putting your flyers and your business cards out at coffee shops, start talking to people, start making sales calls, and get outside of this normalcy that has been created from the pandemic. Because honestly, this is not the real world, okay? We do have digital presence where TC, like I said, she's masterful and she's going to guide you through all of that. But maybe some of the confusion and some of the doubt around why sales are low could possibly be because you don't have physical marketing in place as well. I'm going to stop stop there because I do have to jump off soon, but I want to stick around because TC, I want to hear what you have to say about this. It's a lot that I had to share because of the experiences, and I didn't even share it all, but I just want to be mindful of the time.
I love that. I think in the past we started to infuse and integrate traditional and physical marketing into our entire sales and marketing program, because then the fact that we are no longer in this whole space of how do I put it now? We're no longer in this whole space of stay indoor, don't do anything with yourself. You can't go out. Like, I always say this to my clients: you don't have to be like TC, because TC works at the back end so that you have the time, the energy, the strategy you need to be in front. Okay, I'm at the back end, so you be in front. I'm not at the back end, so you come stay at the back end with me. Okay, it's a total different ballgame entirely. And there's this we last year, I think that was like October, I successfully said to myself that this worked. Now, we had like back and forth after like the pandemic, and then everyone was trying to figure out like their next step, their footing, and all of that. And so I decided to try something. Okay, I decided to try integrating traditional marketing, physical marketing with digital marketing. Because why I decided to do that actually was because there's this particular client of mine. So she has like a product, but she has a store. Okay. And so she's like, sales are low. And I said to her, okay, so what do you have? She said she has a store. Okay. Now she has a store, but then for some reason, she said after the pandemic, that people don't come to her anymore and all of that. And I said, okay, you know what? Let's evaluate what you have and know how we can use it. So we're not going to create anything new. We're just going to start with using what you have, okay? And so I started to like research and deep dive into her processes to find out what exactly works, what's not working, and all of that. And you see what something I found out? She was of the opinion that nothing was working, online space wasn't working for her, and all of that. And I realized after the audit that where she is currently having the highest sales, right, is basically indirectly from online, but they are trooping it offline. So let me break it down. Apparently, people search for her, check her out online, but do not buy directly from her Instagram. Now they search for her, okay, but then they go to the work-in store and then come into the store. That was what we found out. And when I, broke down this analysis to her, she said, "Oh my gosh, yes, that's so true. How did you know?" I'm like, we just read your data. It's your data speaking. That's what it's saying. And she said to me, she said, "Okay, so what do I do next?" I said, use what we you currently have and make it work for you. So this is what we decided to do. We decided to integrate her working physical marketing with our digital marketing, because we realized that people obviously were searching for her. She had like the credibility online, the visibility online. However, you see, these particular people, especially the people that really pay big money for the high end offers that she has, actually search for her online but go into her store. And so I said to her, you do not have an optimized um, Google profile. So how about we make it easy for people to find you? How about we make it easy for people to work into your store? Now, instead of you opening, Allegra, you want to say something? Okay. So instead of you doing, because she only does 3 times in a day. I said, instead of you doing just 3 times, sorry, 3 times in a week, instead of you doing 3 times in a week, how about you make your store open Monday to Saturday, since you always post Monday to Saturday? Okay. Now you can hire help, all right, that would help you in your store, just so that you're able to do other things. Okay. Now activities are going on her Instagram. So she uses Instagram and Facebook. All right. Now activities are going on her Instagram. However, what I realized is when we started to give room, right, for her physical marketing. So we optimized her Google profile. We ensured that okay, it was easy for people to then start to find her. Okay, now the ease to locating her was no longer the problem. Communication became seamless, all right, because then even when people start having issues to how can I find you, I can't find your shop, I can't find this, I can't find that, it was so easy because then she had a good communication flow. Okay, now there was email, there was a text marketing process, there was also what's the name, you get to chat via your website as well, so she had all of that working, so it was very easy for people to find her. I tell you, her sales went from, I think she used to have on a regular, she could do like maybe 5 people working. It literally went from 5 to about 15, 20 every single day, right? And they do like working. Where's that neighbor? Are you? What's that? Are you?
No, I'm just like astonished at that. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. So she literally went from just 5 inconsistent workings to about 15 to 20 workings every single day. And this is no magic, yo. It's no magic. It's just the fact that we were able to optimize what she currently had. The fact that you are able to leverage your locality. Because, see, if you have a local space. So it's the same way with your online business. If your business is online, really meaning your website is your digital store, you want to make it easy for people to find you. You want to be able to network and market across, like around it, just so that you're able to get that traffic. It's the same way with your physical store. The same way, Allegra was breaking down, right? You want to ensure that people are able to find you locally, and that worked for her. That fix was a very simple fix, I tell you, but it worked so well. Currently, as we speak, she's thinking of actually expanding her stores. Now, this is somebody that was crying, no sales, no sales, no sales. Now, when she's actually thinking of expanding the store, and I said to her, if you're going to expand, what you want to do is also get these people in the loop of things, right? We know that people prefer to work in, but we also know that the credibility, the fact that, one thing I noticed with her data is the fact that people actually search for new stock before they actually go into the store. We were doing an audit, and then she was like, we're just taking. She was like doing a video of her. We're doing the audit obviously, and then she was just taking a video because we wanted to do like live feedbacks from the people that come into the store. And there was something that was peculiar amongst all of these people. I could hear people saying, "Oh, but I saw this online." Another person said, "Oh, but I saw." Another person said, "Oh, but I saw this clothes online." Another person said, "Oh, no, where is this particular one? Like, I want to see this particular one." Right now, what this means is they literally had searched, okay, for those items before coming into the store. Now, if you'd ask me, should I have one for one? No, use all, because the whole idea is to market, connect, and make sales. Okay, so it's like you have more options. It's not you saying, let me do this or this. No, it is you saying, let me use this and this, because they are all important for your business, for the success of your
TC,
business.
I just want to like second that because I have to jump off. I want you to end the live and I want you to tell people where to come find us and how to get connected to win. But I'm just saying that everything you said was fabulous. And that example was exactly what we're talking about. It could be one small switch, it could be one small thing. So just, y'all make sure that you heed to this, right? Because TC had her aha moment. TC, thank you for sharing that because I'm sure that helped a lot of people, where we don't really look that deep. But y'all go back and look at the replays, TC. I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so Adega has a meeting, but one thing you need to know is that all of these options are actually available to you. You don't want to have to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to pick this, I'm not going to pick this. You have all of the options. Use it. And at the end of the day, these options are pretty affordable. Okay, when we talk about sales conversations, when we talk about digital marketing, physical marketing, you don't have to pick one. You can have all. You can integrate all. Okay, it doesn't really matter what you do. Even if you have, even if you're a coach, you're a consultant, you want to use all. People want what you have. People need what you have. Even at the, at your locality. So you want as much as possible. Make sure that as much as you are going viral online, you're also going viral locally. Okay, use like your SEO, use your profile, Google profiles. Like there's so many things at your disposal that would ensure that you meet your sales goal. Now if you are not making as much sales as you want to look inward. Figure out what you are able to tweak so that you can start to see those results coming. Okay, so I'm going to end there today. Thank you so much. I know, right? This was short because we had all of the juicy conversations behind the scene. However, we have a masterclass coming up. So if you want to be a part of the masterclass, it's going to be a 3 days masterclass. If you want to be a part of the masterclass, you can just DM myself or Allegra with the word masterclass, and or you better still comment the word masterclass or DM the word masterclass, whichever one, and we'll definitely send you the invite. We have this live LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, all at the same time at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So I think we did it 10 a.m. today. But regularly we do 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, and we do 10 a.m. on Instagram. So we have like the Instagram lives every Wednesday, 10 a.m. So if you have any questions, please jump on our lives on Instagram, or hang out with us on Thursdays as well. And if you want to join the conversation, please feel free to join the conversations. My name is TC as always, Melange Sales Automation Strategist. I am that business consultant, that you want to have at the back of your at the back end of your business, because that's where I thrive. Okay, I make the back end of your business seamless, super streamlined, just so you're able to focus on high impact lead generation activities, one that would give you the results that you need. So if you have any questions about your launches, your sales funnels, your automated system, feel free to ask me all of the questions. I'm happy to support you. Okay, so let's make it a date next week. Same time next week, same venue, same channels. My name is TC, and Allegra just left us, but you can also connect with her here on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. Connect with her, follow her. She's one amazing business coach that you want to be connected with. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's it for me today. I hope to see you all next week, and make sure you have an amazing day. Bye. Okay.